border over here. Oh great, we're back to pixels. Although for borders it does make a little more sense, I suppose. Solid red. I hate how we're actually naming the colors here, though. That's annoying. Dumb. Box sizing. Content box. That's what we want, but the content box is the default, so that changes nothing. What we want is a border box, which is a good default to use, just as a page setting at the start. I don't always remember to, but it is a good idea. To just set that, set the margin padding to 0 right when you start the page. Just to make sure there's not going to be any hiccups from default settings that you forgot to override. Image selectors. See what happens. And everything's too big. Select images inside galleries. 100%. Max width to 350 pixels. Which now shows some issues such as some images being different sizes than others and not gridded properly. Us setting height. Yep. Although a few images do look kind of squished, and I don't get too bent out of shape by that. It wouldn't even if this is a real project and not a tutorial thing. Now, remove the margin from our body element. Set the font family and give it that background color. Margin 0. adding 32 pixels. Background. That. Once I remember to add the number symbol there. Starting to look pretty nice now. It is indeed. So, that's a nice setup for things. It says right there. Flexbox is a one-dimensional CSS layout that can control the way items are spaced out and aligned. To use it, give an element a display property of flex. And you're going to be using Flexbox quite a lot. Just get used to this. When it comes to responsive layouts and making a page so that it looks and is usable on any screen size and configuration, Flexbox is generally your best bet. You will be doing this a lot. As it says here, it has 2 axes. And if you want to change which way it's laid out, then the property you want is flex direction. You can do a couple of different things there. The default is row, which is just left to right. You can reverse that to right to left, and also have it as column, i.e. top to bottom, or bottom to top with column reverse. And column is more used on mobile devices, phones and tablets for the most part. If you have less screen real estate to play with, you want to rearrange things so they're in a column layout. That's the primary use that I found for that particular configuration. At least on the page as a whole. There's plenty of uses for Flexbox that are just configured one specific section of Flexbox within a greater Flexbox to use row on its own, while the outer bit doesn't. That's a bit more complicated. Flex wrap. No, it's okay when the container is too small. Setting it to wrap, then wrap to the next row of column, which is what we want here. There we go. Now that's looking an awful lot like a grid of images without having to play with CSS grid. Let's see. Justify content determines how the items inside a container are positioned along the main axis, which what you use to center items. Which it doesn't really change anything, but if something changed and stuff needed to remain centered, that would help keep that as the case. Let's see. Align items text, a few of our images have gotten distorted because of some weird stuff with the aspect ratio, which we need to do something about. And object fit is actually a selector I have never used before. I didn't even know it existed. Still discovering new stuff to this day. It's one of the hallmarks of programming and web development and the whole 9 yards. Don't ever expect to stop learning things. Set that to cover. And it looks the part now. With some nifty cropping. But what we need now is a space between our images, because they're just all jammed right up next to each other, and they're all touching the side of the next image like that, which doesn't really look great. We need to do something about that. Which is thankfully what the gap property is for. Add a little bit of in-between space. It looks much nicer. Border radius time, mofos. I don't know what it is, but curved edges on images like that, they always look so much nicer than just having everything straight, like it's the default. Now we're getting a little into pseudo classes. Like the after element. Use it to add an empty element after the last image. To push that last one to the side, because this final image being centered over here when everything else is in a grid like so looks weird. Which is something that we need to do something about. Not like that. Then set the width to 350 pixels. And there. That image is over on the left, like it naturally should be. Part 24, and to add alt attributes to everything. So basically, text describing what the image is for screen readers or if it has trouble loading. I'm just going to put this alternative description. Rather than waste my time trying to come up with some unique text for everything, which I would do if I was actually doing this for a project. I'll just copy the same alt text for all of them, just to get through this. And that right there. That's that project questions left before we have the next certification project, both of which are a little lengthy, about 68 each. So we'll be building a nutrition label and quiz, respectively, for typography and accessibility. Other than like general responsive stuff and making sure that I have the screen reader text things in place, I've never paid much attention to accessibility, but it is something I'd like to learn a little better, so that will be interesting when we get to it. But I think this is where I'm going to leave it for this episode. And we will pick up next time for more responsive web design with FreeCodeCamp. And if you enjoyed this, then a like would be very much appreciated. If you want to see more, please subscribe to the channel. And if you have any suggestions for future web development and coding related content to do here, then please feel free to leave a comment. I'm always open to tips and suggestions. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. See you then, folks. See you then. Bye for now.